Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge, and your help, we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. We had a wonderful outpouring of support at the shelter this past Saturday, and we've had it for the last couple of Saturdays. We've had a lot of people show up to walk dogs. So if you're interested in coming out, we would love to see you there. The dogs would love to see you. We've had a sign-up sheet. We've had so much support. So if you can go to the shelter's Facebook page, you can find that sheet and you can sign up and pick out a time that you come. And if you don't know where to find that sign-up sheet, or you're just not sure you're coming and you just show up, we're happy to have you. So come out from 11 to 1. We're there every Saturday, and like I said, the more people we have, the better it is for the dogs. We had so many people 2 weeks ago that all the dogs got out twice. So they love it, and we appreciate the support, because the more people that come, the more we can learn about the dogs, the more we can have pictures, and then we can have interactions with the dogs, and we can really, really make their day, basically, and help the shelter staff in the process. Now, if you come out, of course, you can meet all the dogs, and as you see different posts that we have about dogs that are available, please share them, because we've had a good many adoptions, and we've had rescues that have been helping and to pull dogs from the shelter. And you can come out and meet Dawson. He is a pup that's been there for a while now. I'm not sure how many days. I know he's been around for at least a year, but he's been through some training. He is a really nice dog. He is good with people, good with other dogs. He's actually in a kennel with another dog, so you know he's great with other pups. And come on out, because he just is the greatest pup, and we can't understand why he's still at the shelter. So if you're looking for a dog, please come out and meet Dawson. And then also, we've got the cheesecake event coming up with Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill. So if you would like to buy a cheesecake, we need your order by February 9th. And we've got, as you can see on TV here, we got strawberry, we got Reese's, we got turtle, we've got a sampler, and we've got just berries that you can get that are the dipped strawberries. So if you want that, you need to contact Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill and go to our original post about it, and you can order from there, or you can email us at theferaldogsofavondalemill@gmail.com. But make sure you get these orders in. This is one of our best fundraisers, and that will help us help the dogs and cats in this area, and help do everything we can to get these numbers of dogs and cats on our streets down. And speaking of numbers of dogs and cats on our street, I have asked our animal control officer, Douglas Nixon, to join me again today. And Douglas, we really appreciate you coming on.
Enjoy coming on.
Well, we enjoy having you, and we're glad we have you in this community. Yes. So let's talk about, I asked you to come on because I feel like there's some misunderstanding or misconception about what happens and what needs to happen and what kind of city ordinances we have as far as especially dogs, but you also will get cats.
Yes.
So let's talk about the different ways that a dog can end up at the shelter.
There are multiple ways. There are owner surrenders where they come in, they have their own pet, that they agree that this is their pet. They come in, fill out some paperwork, basically sign off their rights and everything. And when this happens, they are able to be adopted out immediately.
Okay.
If you bring an animal that's a stray, it's the same as if you brought in with meat.
Okay.
There is a 7-day hold, and if you're an owner of any dog that's brought in by me or by stray, it is a $50 reclaim fee, because once they get in there, we have to give them certain vaccines so they can actually be in the populace with the other dogs instead of just out in the outside kennel by themselves and having no interaction with anyone.
Okay. And so that's one thing that I think that a lot of times people don't understand is that when you do bring a dog in, there's a protocol. It has to happen before that dog can be in that general population.
Correct.
So you're housing that dog, you're feeding that dog, you're giving it vaccines,
Correct.
and that's to keep that dog safe and to keep other dogs safe.
Correct.
And now, if someone sees if their dog is missing,
Correct.
then they need to call the shelter.
Call
correct?
the shelter, come up there, ask. I'm there Tuesday through Saturday. I'm usually the one that brings in most of the dogs.
Okay.
So if you see me there, if you see me going down the road in the truck and everything, and I stop somewhere and you have a question about if we have a dog at the shelter that I may have picked up, feel free to ask,
Okay.
because for the most part, I will know it.
Okay.
And you just go up to the shelter and do everything. Our biggest concern now is rabies vaccines.
Okay.
If you were reclaiming your animal and it does not have up-to-date rabies, we require you to actually go and prepay for a rabies vaccine, which isn't expensive. The most expensive one I've ever seen was $25.
Okay.
And bring that up there with the $50 reclaim and everything and get that taken care of.
Okay.
Because we don't need it getting out again and it getting attacked by something that may have rabies.
Okay.
We're trying to take care of all the situations that we can before it comes about.
And is it a city rule or ordinance or law to have your dog have a rabies shot?
It's a state law.
Okay. So, I mean, that's something you can't get around.
Correct.
As the shelter here in Sylacauga, Alabama, you've
Correct.
got to have dogs that have rabies and that you've confirmed that they have them before they
Now,
go
if
somewhere.
it has a rabies vaccine, does it have the tag on? We would prefer it to have the tag on because it makes everyone's job a little bit easier. Like when I'm picking up a dog, I know, okay, this one's at least vaccinated.
Okay.
If not, but if you have paperwork that you can access and just bring to the shelter, that's perfectly fine too.
Okay. And the shelter will put the shelter just out of, I mean, it's not a rule that you have to do it, but it seems like most of the time when you have a dog that comes in, the shelter posts it on Facebook.
Yes, we'll post it on Facebook most of the time. It's like you said, it's not a requirement that we have to do. We're doing it because we would rather the owners get their dogs back than having to sit in the shelter for 7 days and then try to get adopted out.
Absolutely. So it's basically a community service that
Correct.
you're announcing this dog is here. But people need to be proactive if their dog is missing and call the shelter.
Correct.
Now, do you have the shelter's number right on top of your head?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 256-391-4142.
Okay. So if the dog's missing, call that number. Now, you guys are busy, so there's chance that you won't answer that phone.
Correct.
So just leave a message. 'Cause,
Leave a message. We check them regularly.
Okay. And then if someone has a dog issue and they call, that's the number they need to call if they have a dog that's loose or a dog that they see or a dog that's a menace and they need you to come and take care of it.
Correct.
Okay. And now what's the protocol there? Because that's another place where I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about your abilities as a human to get
Correct.
someplace. Okay. So let's talk about that.
As a lot of people know, we used to be stationed with the police department. So I was stationed at City Hall in the
Okay.
middle of the city.
Okay.
I am now stationed with the animal shelter. So whenever I get a call, even if it's right behind the library, I still have to drive from past the airport all the way here.
Okay.
So 90% of the time, if a dog is walking through your yard, most of the time when I get there, it won't be there. But
Okay.
when I do get there, I do circle at least around the block, down the street, to try to see if I can see this dog.
Okay.
Because I'm aware that it does take me 10, 15 minutes to get there.
Okay.
But
And so it's really good. We've talked about this before on here. If you have a dog that you found that's a nice dog and you've been able to actually get your hands on it, to keep your hands on it till you get there, because then you can.
correct,
You
I can
can
pick
just-
it up immediately and go from there.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if I'm aware, like if it has a collar on it, it has its location where it is, I will take that back to the owner. I would rather
Okay.
it go back there immediately than I have to take it to the shelter.
Okay.
And that's a big thing I would like people to do is have a tag on your dog, because when I pick it up, if I can bring it to you, that takes away that $50 charge because it's immediately back to you.
Okay. And then what are the rules with that? So say you've gotten a call and there's a dog out, it has a tag, you take it back to its owner. Is that first time kind of a courtesy warning, and then if it happens again, you would take the dog back to the shelter, or what would be the protocol there?
We're in the process now of writing citations
Okay.
for it. The first time I pick it up, you get a warning. That's it. That's all it is a warning,
Okay.
just stating that, hey, you need to have it in there. And I understand dogs will be dogs. They will sometimes break off their leashes, break off their collars. It's case by case.
Okay.
But for the most part, everyone would be getting a warning just to state that, hey, your dog has done this.
Okay.
And the second time, I'll bring it back to you, but then it's a citation.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't make it a regular habit. I know, and if I see you actively trying, I will work with you.
Okay.
I've had a case where a woman had to get an electric fence, and she was having issues with the collars, getting
Okay.
them on.
Okay.
If you're having issues with stuff like that, you can also call or do anything, and I can come out there and assist you for getting it, because I would rather you have your animals contained
Okay.
instead of me getting a call every day that, hey, your dog is in this yard. And that's what we did. I went out there, I assisted her, because she was an older lady and
Okay.
everything. Got their collars situated and everything, and now we've had no issues
Okay.
from her.
That's great. So, with that said, so if you have somebody call you, not necessarily the owner that needs help with the dog like you're discussing, but if you have someone call and they need you to come and check a dog, you can only do that within the city limits, correct?
Correct. Just in
And
the city limits.
are there any times that you can go outside of the city limits?
The only time that's outside the city limits is either like in Sycamore, there's annex properties.
Okay.
They're still considered city limits.
Okay.
If I come out to an annex property and you are the only one in the city, as long as that animal is there, I have the right to do something. But the minute it steps over, I can go talk to the owner, but it's still county and there's not really much I can do
Okay.
there. The other things is like certain areas in the city that are still considered county.
Okay.
The roads and the right-of-ways are still considered city.
Okay.
So if, let's say there's an injured dog in the road, I can come out there and help it.
Okay.
But if the dog gets up and runs into the woods, I'm still going to go out there and look for it. But if it goes into someone's property that's county, I'm not allowed to.
And in particular, there's an area that's like that over in the Avondale Mill Village area, where
Correct.
the city has the streets, but the county owns all the properties.
Correct.
So that's where if somebody has a problem and they call, that is right here next to the city, and the streets are city, but you can't go on people's properties to do
Correct.
anything.
The only difference is, because it being county, and I have been out there to get it, is if you call and speak to a county officer and they come out there and, let's say, abandon animals,
Okay.
and they deem that there's no one living there and everything, they can contact me and I will come get them.
Okay. But you have to have the county officers
I have
there
to have
with
the
you.
county officer there while I'm doing it.
Okay. So, but that's good to clear that up, because I know that we do have such a big problem here with dogs and cats. Now, how many dogs and cats have you gotten off the streets?
As of May 9th, up to right now, is 145 dogs off the streets
Okay.
and 20 cats.
And so you're working so hard, and we appreciate that. And I know it can be frustrating because even in rescue, all of the hard work everybody does, that we still have a big problem.
Correct.
But I know that it's great to have you on here, and we appreciate you coming on here to explain a lot of these different things, where these small things that rules you have to follow maybe aren't understood by the community or people that are in need at that moment. So hopefully that'll clear a lot of that up, because you have been working hard.
Yes, December was my busiest month with
Okay.
36 dogs just off the street.
Do you know how many you've had this year so far? Or
This year, since January 1st, has been 15.
okay,
I got 15 in January.
okay. Well, slowly but surely I hope we can whittle away at how many dogs and cats we have roaming the area.
Yes.
So yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate the shelter and all the hard work y'all do there, and we'll keep doing everything we can to support you and get the information out there. And we always appreciate you coming on Pet Connect. But come on out to the shelter this weekend if you can and meet Dawson. Douglas here knows Dawson. He's a good dog, isn't he?
Oh yes, very friendly, wants to be loved by everybody.
Absolutely. So come on out and love Dawson and every other dog there at the shelter. We're there from 11 to 1, and remember, we're happy to have you. even if you don't sign up, but we do now have a sign-up sheet that you can go onto Facebook and find some good time to come between that 11 and 1. And we'll hope to see you there. And don't forget to order your strawberries by the 9th. We're creeping up on that date. So February 9th is the last date that you can order those. And we appreciate everybody's support so far, and we appreciate all your orders, and we will keep working. So please join us this weekend at the shelter, and thank you for joining us for Pet Connect today. We'll have more Daybreak after these messages.
Dear humans, this is an adoption campaign, but it's not for me, or Mr. Buttons, or Frank over there. It's for you, humans. This is a call to humans to adopt our movement, to adopt our cause.
This isn't just about saving one of us.
It's about saving all of us.
Thousands of lives, every single day.
It's about support for every one of us four, and sometimes not four-legged best friends, waiting to meet a best friend of our own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge.
Shelter by shelter. City by city.
We can save thousands of pets each day. Join us. Together we can save them all.